Do you want to sound instantly more confident when you speak? I mean, are small, unconscious speaking habits secretly ruining your credibility in conversations or meetings?
Well, they definitely are.
Right. Well, welcome to Everyday English Flow, daily English practice, natural speaking, and effortless listening flow.
It is such a privilege to explore this with you today. We are tackling a linguistic hurdle that almost everyone faces at some point, whether you are speaking your native language or polishing your English as an advanced second language.
Exactly. And our mission today is to uncover how to completely eliminate filler words from your daily speech. We are talking about those ubiquitous little sounds, the ums, the kias, the likes.
Yeah, they seem totally harmless in passing, but shedding those tiny syllables is effectively a cheat code to sounding sharp. It makes you instantly more credible, highly proficient in any room you walk into.
Today, we are going to cover exactly 5 important points to solve this problem. Specifically, 3 practical tools and 2 physical techniques. Plus, stick around because there is a very special bonus at the end of our discussion.
Yes, there is, and I'm really excited for that bonus. But I want to jump straight into the psychology of this, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Because anyone aiming for a top-tier C1 level fluency knows that you can possess the most sophisticated vocabulary imaginable. But if your sentences are constantly glued together with the impact of your message just completely evaporates.
It totally does. But tackling this feels massive.
Yeah.
Where is the actual starting line?
Well, the starting line requires recognizing that filler words are deeply entrenched neurological habits. They act as verbal buffering. When your brain is fetching the next piece of information, your mouth makes a sound to hold your place in the conversation so no one interrupts you.
Right, because it's an automatic reflex.
Exactly. So rewiring it demands intense conscious effort. But rather than attempting to fix every single verbal tick overnight, we need to walk before we run.
Walk before we run. I love that idiom.
Yeah, it's a great one for our advanced learners.
Just to give a simple definition, it means learning basic skills before trying something complicated. So before we try to sprint and fix everything at once, we have to start small.
That is the essence of it. People use dozens of complex filler phrases, things like, you know what I mean, or at the end of the day. But to walk before we run, we have to ignore those larger phrases initially and strictly target the foundational offenders.
Which are just, right.
Correct. If you can master stopping those raw phonetic sounds, controlling the longer phrases becomes a much lighter lift for your brain.
So to build that foundation, we have to actually hear what we are doing wrong. We know filler words dilute our credibility, but because they're automatic, we literally don't process that we're saying them.
Which brings up the first of our 3 tools. Tool number 1 is to watch back recordings of yourself speaking. You need to see the context of when these words appear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they usually happen when you are unsure of an answer or transitioning between complex thoughts.
I understand the logic of gathering data, I really do, but I have to push back on the reality of doing this. Most people would rather do anything else because hearing their own voice makes them cringe.
Oh, it really does. It's a universal feeling.
And for our listeners, let's explain that vocabulary word. To cringe means to feel very embarrassed or uncomfortable. Like, here's an example sentence. I cringe when I hear my own voice on a recording. You physically pull your shoulders up and you squint your face.
The physical discomfort is incredibly real, but leaning into that discomfort is where you gain a massive advantage. You are listening for the trigger moments where the habit takes over. We actually use a very specific phrasal verb to describe this behavior. We say filler words creep in.
Creep in, meaning to slowly and quietly appear, right?
Exactly, like an unwanted guest. Consider a scenario where you are presenting a topic you know perfectly. You might not use a single but then someone asks an unexpected, tough question.
And that is the exact moment the filler words creep in.
Yes. The recording allows you to observe this objectively.
Okay, I suppose if I can't stomach the audio because listening to myself is just too cringeworthy, there must be a workaround. Is there a less painful way to spot the problem, like using text?
You are anticipating tool number 2 perfectly. We call this the visual hack. If your ears are too sensitive to your own voice, you use your eyes instead of your ears. We use transcripts.
Oh, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we have AI everywhere now. I could just open Instagram, record a draft of a story using their auto captions, and never even turn the volume up.
Any transcription software works beautifully for this. You just speak to the camera for 60 seconds. You don't even have to publish it or listen to it. You simply read the text that the AI generates, and you treat it like a game to get your filler word score lower and lower.
And because AI algorithms are incredibly literal, they transcribe every single and exactly as they fell out of my mouth.
Right. It takes this invisible auditory habit and makes it a concrete visual reality.
And that forces you to express your thoughts succinctly,
Yes, precisely.
which is another fantastic word for our C1 learners. Succinctly. It means expressing something briefly and clearly. For example, she answered the difficult questions succinctly without any filler words.
That is the dream state we are aiming for. Looking at a messy transcript creates a natural craving for that exact kind of precision.
Turning fluency into a measurable game is such a brilliant approach. And since we are digging deep into these methods, we are about halfway through our roadmap today. If you are enjoying this, please remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, definitely. So we have established our 2 self-guided diagnostic tools, recordings, and transcripts. But relying solely on self-awareness can sometimes plateau.
Which means bringing another human being into the process, I assume.
You assumed right. Tool number 3 is the buddy system. It requires recruiting a partner in a live setting to physically flag you, like raising their hand or counting on their fingers every time you say a filler word.
Honestly, that sounds terrifying. Just sitting there trying to articulate a complex thought while a pair of hands keeps popping up to track my failures in real time, that is completely daunting.
It is incredibly daunting, yeah.
Let's actually define that C1 adjective, daunting. It means making you feel slightly frightened or worried about your ability. For example, speaking in public without notes is daunting, but having someone tally your mistakes in real time is on another level.
It is deeply uncomfortable, but that discomfort serves a vital function.
It's nerve-wracking, which is another great word. Nerve-wracking means causing a lot of worry or stress. Like waiting for my exam results was completely nerve-wracking.
Well, the reason that daunting, nerve-wracking pressure is necessary is because it bridges the gap between the unconscious habit and conscious awareness instantly. It is believed that strict parental correction is highly effective for this. There's this classic anecdote of a father dealing with a teenager who used the word like all the time.
Oh, the relentless teenage like.
Right. Whenever this teenager attempted a sentence, the father would instantly interrupt the flow of conversation and say, well, is it like that or is it?
Oh, wow. Every single time the word was used.
Without fail. It was incredibly annoying for the teenager, but it broke the habit fast. The brain began doing the heavy lifting of filtering the word out before it could trigger the vocal cords.
I am genuinely on the fence about whether that dad was a genius or just a nuisance.
That's a great idiom. On the fence.
Yeah, being unable to choose between two sides of an argument. Like, I'm on the fence about whether to study in London or New York. Or in this case, I'm on the fence about whether that's good parenting.
It is undeniably aggressive, but whether you use a strict parental interruption or a supportive colleague quietly raising a finger, the underlying science is identical.
All right, so let's look at the map of what we've covered. We have our 3 tools to build awareness: recording audio, using AI transcripts, and employing a buddy. Now we need the cure. We need to look at the actual physical mechanics of the mouth and breath.
Yes, the transition to physical mechanics is where the real transformation happens. We are moving into our 2 specific techniques. And technique 1 is simple. Close your mouth.
Literally, just shut your lips.
Literally. Between sentences, you must physically close your mouth. Don't open it until you know exactly what you want to say next. This prevents you from looking up and saying, while thinking.
Because the mouth is just idling, producing noise, simply because the pathway is open. By pressing your lips together, the sound cannot escape. But what happens the moment I open my lips to speak? That brings us to technique 2, right?
Yeah.
Managing the air.
Exactly. Technique 2 is practicing solid airflow. Speaking in choppy, broken sentences creates gaps where filler words hide. Instead, practice solid airflow, meaning only speak while you are smoothly exhaling.
You know, it's like driving a car. If you keep hitting the brakes, the ride is bumpy and choppy every time you halt and slipped in. But solid airflow is like cruising smoothly on the highway.
That is a perfect analogy. Continuous airflow dramatically alters how your audience perceives you. It allows you to flawlessly convey your thoughts.
Convey. That means to make ideas or feelings known to someone. A clear voice helps you convey your message perfectly.
Yes, you sound like someone who knows exactly where their sentence is going.
And it is so much more engaging for the listener. Well, we've armed you with the 3 tools and broken down the 2 physical techniques, but as promised at the start, it is time to deliver our very special bonus that ties all of this together.
The ultimate daily habit. Set a daily recurring reminder on your phone, Monday to Friday, with a random question like, what do you do for work?
Okay, so when it goes off, I'm confronted with a prompt. Do I just think about it?
No, when it goes off, hold up your phone and record a 10 to 20-second video answering it. This 2-minute daily habit builds massive confidence over time. You're practicing the closed mouth technique, solid airflow, and creating a recording to analyze.
It's a complete feedback loop,
Uh,
and there's an added physical bonus to closing your mouth between sentences, right?
yes. Closing your mouth between sentences actually forces you to breathe through your nose, which is much healthier for your vocal cords. It acts as a natural humidifier.
Better English proficiency and better physical vocal health. It doesn't get much better than that. But this is a big overhaul, and it's easy to get frustrated.
It is completely normal to feel frustrated, which is why the most important piece of advice we can leave you with today is to show yourself some grace.
Show yourself some grace, meaning be kind and forgiving to yourself during the learning process, as breaking this habit takes time.
Absolutely. You will not be flawless tomorrow, but if you show yourself some grace and persist, the transformation will be undeniable.
I am so glad we highlighted that. Please like, share, and subscribe. And to show us you are dedicated to your daily English practice, I want you to write "I stay committed" in the comment box right now. Let us know you are on this journey with us.
And before we sign off, I have one final challenge for our advanced learners. Today's idiom challenge is face the music.
Ooh, face the music. That is a brilliant one.
I want you all to figure out what this idiom means and write your answers in the comments section below. How would you use it in a sentence?
I will be reading through those comments. This has been such an illuminating exploration. And as you step back into your day, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. You know, it is believed by many great orators that in a world where everyone is rushing to fill the silence with noise, maybe the most powerful, confident sound you can make is a well-placed pause.